Good morning, everyone. A very good morning. Shall we begin the session? In the last class, that is the yesterday's class, we have discussed about the static data members. What are the static data members? What are the function that is used as an object, that is used as an array of objects? So these are the few functions, these are the few definitions that we have used, or few topics that we have studied yesterday. That is the object as an argument, then static members. Now the next part is the friend functions. That is the today's topic. Now, in the last class and the last class, we can say 2 or 3 classes back to back, we have discussed about the classes. Now, can anyone explain what is the class so that I can relate that topic to the friend function? Yeah, very good. Class is a user-defined data type. I agree. That combines. Yeah, that combines data members and the member functions, right? That are linked with each other, right? Okay. So this friend function is used whenever I want to access two values, or whenever I want to combine, or we can say the relate two classes. That concept is provided by the friend function. As the name advises, friend function, that means two classes are friend with each other so that they can share their values, they can share their data members and the member functions with each other. And we have been emphasizing throughout this chapter that the private members cannot be accessed from outside the class. That is, a non-member function cannot have an access to the private data of a class. However, there must be a situation, there could be a condition when we would like two classes to share a particular function to match their particular function. For example, consider a case where two classes, manager and the scientist, have been defined. So we would like to use a function income tax to operate on the objects of both these classes. In such a scenario, C++ allows the common function to made available or to made friend with both the classes, therefore allowing the functions to have access to the private data of the class. Such a function needs to be a member of any of these classes. Just to make a friend function, we simply use a friend keyword along with the function. So this is the class ABC. Then there is the data member and the member functions. Then that is a private members basically. Then public, there is a function that is xyz that has a return type void. Argument is also void, that is a declaration. But we use the friend keyword, so that function makes the friend function. And this function declaration should be accessed, should be used, should be proceeded or preceded by the keyword friend. And this function is defined elsewhere in the program like a normal C++ function that does not either use the keyword friend or the scope operator. And this function or whatever the functions that are declared within the keyword friend are known as the friend functions. So we use the scope resolution operator for using the friend function. And a function can be declared as a friend in any number of classes. And that although not a member function, has a full access rights to the private members of the class. And friend function possesses certain characteristics. What are these characteristics? It is not in the scope of the class to which it is declared as a friend. Since it is not in the scope of the class, it cannot be called using the object of that class. It cannot be used with that class. It cannot be the scope of that class. It can be invoked like a normal function without the help of any object. So it can be used with any other functions with any other variables. Unlike member variables or member functions, it cannot access the member name directly and has to use an object name and the dot membership, that is the dot operator, with each member name, that is the a dot x. It can be declared either in the public or private part of the class without affecting its meaning, and usually it has the objects as the arguments. And this friend function are obviously or also used or often used in the operator overloading that will be discussed. So this illustrates the use of the friend function. This is the friend function IOStream using namespace. That is one part. That class sample. There are two parts in this, A and B, and public set value. Now, what is the definition of the set value that contains the 25 and the 40? Then friend float mean sample s. That means we have make one function that is a mean, that the return type is float and the argument is again the sample s, and that is of the friend type. Then there is a curly braces and the semicolon. In the same way, there is a float mean sample s return float s dot a plus s dot b. Why we are using the s? Because it is an object that we are referring out with the dot operator to fetch the values of the data member, that is the a and the b. That is divided by 2.0. Yes. Then there is a int main sample x dot set value, then see out mean value mean x. So this is the x object that has also been created. So we use the dot operator with the x that is used with the set value, and there is a mean value mean x return 0. So mean value is 32.5. The friend function that accesses the class variables a and b by using the dot operator and the object passed to it. And this function call mean x passes object x by the value to the friend function. That can be used with other classes also, and in such cases they are defined under the or using the scope resolution operator that is shown above below. Is the class that int fun1, that is a member function of x, class y, friend int x fun1, that is a fun function, and this is a member of the class and is therefore a friend of the class y. And we can also declare all the member functions of one class as a friend function of another class. In such cases, the class is a friend, or also known as a friend class, that can be specified by class z friend class x. So these are the members of x that are the friends to the z also. Now next is a friend function to the two classes. So hash include IOStream using namespace class ABC class xyz. So this is a forward declaration, that means we are using the class ABC later on. And next one is class xyz that contains the x and the set value, that friend void max xyz and the abc. So this abc has been forwarded to the next part that we are going to use in the class. Then xyz that contains the x public set value int I x equals to y, friend void max xyz and the abc. Then class abc, now it is the role of the class abc that we are using out with the same friend function. There is a int a void set value int I a equals to I, then friend void max xyz in the abc. Now void max, now this is a definition of the function void max xyz m abcn if m dot x is greater than equals to n dot a. If it is greater than, then n dot x has to be printed, then n dot a has to be printed. After this, there is the int main. So we have created one object of the ABC, that is a small ABC. Then ABC dot set value. With the use of the small ABC, that is the object, we are getting the value. We are getting the function, that is with the use of dot operator. So and we are passing the value as a 10. Then for the next class, that is xyz, we have created another object, that is the small xyz, that again have a set value, calling the set value by using the dot operator that has a value 20. Then max xyz abc. This is the function calling. When we call the function, then it automatically goes to the function definition. So this is the output, because 10 is greater than 20. No, so 20 is. So this function makes as the argument that is taken from the both the xyz and the abc. Xyz contains the value as a 10, and the abc contains the value as a 10, and the xyz has a 20. And when the function max is declared as a friend in xyz for the first time, the compiler will not acknowledge the presence of abc unless its name is declared in the beginning as class abc, and this is known as the forward declaration. Why? Because we are going to use the class in the we are going to use this class within the program. So forward we are using this. And as pointed out earlier, friend function can be called by the reference, can be used by the reference. In this case, the local copies of the objects are not made. Instead, a pointer to the address of the object is passed, and the called function directly works on the actual object used in the call. So whatsoever the function they are using up, they are used with that function only, with that object only. And this method can be used to alter the values of the private member, private data of the class. And whenever we are altering the value of the private member, that is against the basic principles of the data hiding, that should be used only when absolutely necessary. And this program shows how a common friend function, common friend function can be used to exchange the private members of the classes. That is the by reference. So class 2, class 1, int value 1, public, void int data int a, value 1 equals to a, then void display void, cout value 1, and then friend void exchange class 1, ampersand class 2, ampersand, then class 2, int value 2, public, void int data int a, void display void, value 2 equals to a. Then friend void exchange class 1 class 2 ampersand, then void exchange class 1 x class 2 y. So in temp x dot value 1, x dot value 1 equals to y dot value 2. That means y to value 2 or value 2 will be assigned to the value 1 and the temp will be assigned to the value 2. That means there is a swapping of these values or exchanging of these values. And then there is the int main class 1 c1 class 2 c2 c1 dot int data 100 class 2 or c2 dot int data 200. So there are two values and the values before exchange, that is the display and the c2 dot display. This exchange will be used, and that is the c1 and the c2 will be used. So cout values after the exchange, then c1 dot display, c2 dot display, and these objects xy are the aliases of the c1 and the c2 respectively. So we are getting out as a term x dot value 1, x dot value 1 equals to x to y dot value 2, and y dot value 2 equals